All right, good evening. My name is Todd Sanders. I am the superintendent of schools here in MSAD 58. I welcome those of you who are joining us via Zoom. We are also live streaming. At this time, we do have everybody muted. At the end of the presentation, we will open up the chat window. What I would ask is that if you want to ask a question via chat, you simply state your name and the town in which you reside, and then we can unmute you. I will turn the host abilities back to our tech director, and he will be able to unmute you, and you'll be able to present any questions that you may have for us. So we are doing this, obviously, I'm sure most of you are aware, because of the COVID-19 situation, which had put so much restrictions on us being able to get together in group settings and be able to adhere to all the guidelines that came down from Augusta and from the CDC. So this is a virtual presentation of the adopted budget by the school board. We'll present it tonight. This will be recorded. It is being recorded as we speak. It will be on the MSAD 58 website, so people can view it at a later time. And we need to pause for just 1 second. I apologize. And where do I do that? Jared, I can't see. Is there any? Are there any other questions, or? Or did he get froze? Is he froze again? Or something? Okay. At this point, okay. So as we look at this point, it doesn't look like there are any other questions in the Zoom. As I said, the phone line's open, but we haven't any calls on that. We will. As I said, if the video did not, if we recorded this, and if we did the live stream did not go out as it needed to, we'll make sure that we make a copy of this presentation, or if we have to, we'll redo it and have it on the website so that it's visible for anybody. Nothing else? It's streaming now. It's streaming now, okay. But no other questions in the chat? Oh, wait. Rick, you had a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good, thank you. I'm actually a new taxpayer, so I found the meeting very interesting. The proposals very well laid out. I could actually follow them, so thank you very much for doing that. I do kind of want to follow up with the question that the gentleman before me brought up. I'm also a little concerned about using our carrying forward money that we put aside this year when we may need it next year. I've also been reading that there are many school districts that are voting on their budgets now, or are going to be voting on it, that have cut them back. Again, kind of referencing the previous gentleman's comments that this is going to be a bad year for many people as far as taxes go, as far as coming up with money. And so, I have some concerns around that, specifically so that I'm not just repeating everything he brought up. I don't have the budget in front of me by the line items, but there was something regarding the number 6, the system administration, was up 19.29%. Board of directors up 41,567, and the business office up 41,000. Again, I don't know what I don't know. I'm assuming there's probably an explanation for the increases, but those are some of the largest increases, and I just wondered if you wouldn't mind talking to me about that, or if that's something that we need to do offline.
Oh, no, certainly. I appreciate your question. One thing you should know, that even with the amount of money that we're proposing to carry forward, there is still $240,000 left in that amount. So we didn't completely bleed dry the amount of carry forward money that was available to us. So we did leave $240,000 there from that fiscal year. And as I said, we're going to be very cautious, on how we spend this year coming up. In response to the question about why that you see those increases in there, have they previously mentioned the strategic plan? We did, our legal fees was kind of low. And you can burn through legal fees pretty quickly. So we did double our legal fees, brought that up to $20,000, I believe. And I'm looking, Lynn's. Oh, yes, and we did increase the position in the central office. We had a person that was working part-time. We did, because of the size and all the work that needs to be done in that office, we did, the board did agree to increase a position in central office to a full-time position. That student lunch debt was $7,000. I'm looking at Lynn off the top of my head. So that was a new cost that we incurred that hadn't been in the budget before, that we wish we could do a better job of that. Our hope is that new food service position that we put in will be able to tackle that, and that number won't be so high, but that was an increase. And when you're talking about an $81,000 increase, you got 18,000 in the strategic plan, 10,000 in legal fees, 7,000 in student lunch, the increase in staffing, that pretty much covers, is that insurance, I mean, is that an increase in that cost center? Anybody else? Anybody? I think so. Jared, just looking to see if we've got any other raised hands or comments in the chat window. No? Sue, I think you're alive, or I hope you're alive. I hope you're alive. I think your mic is live.
All right, good. Are you ready for me to ask a question?
Go right ahead.
All right, so I have a question about your tuition. I see in your revenue, you're projecting exactly the same tuition. What do your accounts look like in your tuitioning students, your EUT and your other municipalities that you tuition?
I'm having Lynn's looking. She's in her computer right now.
We are not projected, if she's talking about the regular tuition.
So you're talking regular tuition?
I'm talking about the money that comes from the unorganized territory, from Highland, from Carabasset, from Eustis, Copeland.
A significant impact.
At this point, we're not expecting the impact to be, that much different than what we currently have. So that's why that numbers remain consistent.
So my question is, what are your counts? How many unorganized territory students do you have?
We're not sure right off the top. I don't know if we can pull that for you right now, Sue. I might have to get back to you tomorrow on that.
All right, so my big question is, I believe that their numbers are declining, Todd. And
Okay.
that's a lot of, it's $1.4 million that you're anticipating getting in regular tuition. And I know Highland has no students coming to SAD 58 next year. So you're down 3 there. I don't know how many, if the other council, last I knew, Eustis numbers were going down, not up. So I'm just curious if that trend is also similar to the unorganized territory.
We can find that out, Sue.
How much money did you get in this year? Do you know that answer?
Not off the top of our head right now.
Okay.
We can find that out too.
I would be interested in that because I believe that number was a high projection last year.
Okay.
And I don't know about you, but I don't anticipate we'll have as many children coming back to school in the fall.
Yeah, and that's the even the ones that we know are currently, in our district, what's going to be the impact this whole COVID thing on those students.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Ooh, okay. Is he live? Rick, I think you're live again.
Okay, hi, thanks, Todd. Just one quick follow-up question.
Yeah.
And regarding the carry forward money, I'd like to focus on the state contribution. Was any of that carry forward money needed in order to meet the state obligation? I understand that we kind of have to spend money to make money from the state, so.
Yeah, no, we met the local contribution, the required local contribution without that carry forward money.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yep. Again, Jared, just scrolling through the chat to see if anybody has any questions. Kim, do you or Lynn have anything you want to add? No questions? And the live stream is up? Okay. Well, we don't appear to have any other questions in the chat window, and the live stream is up, and we don't have any, the phone isn't ringing. And if you do have questions, as you reflect on it, please do not hesitate. We've got that website that you can send the email address that you can send your information to. Is that on the website, Jared? Yeah. That is on the website, so you can get that information there. You can certainly call central office, and as in tonight, if you ask a question and we don't have the answer immediately, we will certainly make sure we find the answer and get back to you in a timely manner. So at that point, I guess, anything else? Again, hopefully everyone will get out and vote on the 14th of July. I think you can end it. Thank you, everybody.